If you sign a contract with people, you fulfill your contract. The Southern Pickleball Championships are more prestigious at this point than those, no offense to them.
There are some pickleball swingers, if you will. There's a new partner every weekend.
And DUPR's supposed to be genderless, but I don't buy that. Should age matter, or is DUPR age and genderless, and they've got it all figured out?
Welcome back to another episode of the Southern Pickleball Podcast. Thank you all for viewing us again as we dive into all things amateur pickleball with our own little splash of pro drama, of course. I am everyone's favorite 4-4 DUPR, Corin, and as always with me, the co-founder of Southern Pickleball, Mark. So we have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about today. We're going to get into the Quang Dong termination. That's right. That's how you say it. As well as the DUPR algorithm. A lot of good, juicy stuff to get into today. But before we do that, we just want to go ahead and do our Mizuno sponsor highlight. Mizuno is helping us grow the game across the South while keeping our players performing at their best. Their footwear is engineered for speed, stability, and serious style, whether you're brand new to the game or chasing championship points. We're proud to partner with a brand that lives and breathes athletic excellence. Thank you, Mizuno, and let's keep moving. Love Mizuno. Love the shoes. Love the style. Great sponsor of ours, huh?
Yeah, really appreciate Mizuno. And thank you for leaving out the part about that my DUPR dipped down into the lower 4.2 range.
Yeah, well, I wanted to save that for when we get into the juicy conversation. But before that, what do you think about this Quang Dong termination? And before we keep going,
how do you say his name? I thought it was Quang Dong.
I thought it was Quang Dong.
But evidently it's Wang. I heard Zane on his little short say Quang Dong, so I guess I've been saying it wrong.
Yeah.
Should we just refer to him as QD?
I think QD is going to be the easiest.
That would be the easiest thing for us today, QD.
Because who knows?
That way we won't make any politically incorrect mistakes if it's different or something.
Yeah, I mean.
All right, QD is for today.
QD. So here is the official UPA statement on QD. Effective immediately. The United Pickleball Association, UPA, has terminated the contract of QD for multiple and repeated violations of the exclusivity. Say that for me.
Exclusivity?
Yep. Terms of the agreement. Despite numerous attempts to work with QD and his team, including conversations, warnings, and fines, there have been continued and consistent misrepresentations of facts and contract breaches. We're still in the early stages of building this sport, which requires strong alignment amongst all our stakeholders domestically and internationally. Every player has an exclusivity?
Exclusivity? Is it exclusivity again?
Yeah,
okay.
That's the word it's not going to work for me today.
All right, I got it for you.
Clause in their contract, which allows us to preserve the integrity of our brand and our sponsors. QD's actions run counter to the united strategic vision of the UPA and undercut the leadership that the UPA and all of our incredible athletes and partners have taken to elevate the sport globally. So
all that was a fancy way of saying that
he's out of here.
While everybody else was playing MLP last weekend, QD was in Vietnam, teaching some clinics, promoting some stuff at some clubs or whatever.
Making a little extra cash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Making a lot of extra cash.
A lot of extra cash, which makes me wonder. I mean, I wonder if he even – I'm sure he cares. You know, they help him grow his brand. They help him get big. But now, if he's able to make all the money over there where it's even worth the risk, right? I mean,
I think where I struggle with it, Corin, is just the fact that he's got a contract,
Yeah.
So he signed a contract with PPA, and so I'm a big believer that if you sign a contract with people, you fulfill your contracts.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think he should fulfill the contract. At the same time, there's the other side of that is, we covered in our last show that PPA had contracts with these players and they're asking them to change their contract and split payments over 3 years and stuff. So I'm thinking, if I was in his shoes and I'm the most marketable player in Vietnam, I think it's where they say pickleball is the second most popular place for growth right now. If I'm the most popular player there, stateside here, they're wanting to make me take my guaranteed salary and spread it over 3 years and play for performance-based bonus. Maybe I just take my guaranteed money and do what I want to do over there. So.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. And if you look at what he's been doing recently, I mean, it kind of all aligns with, being more in Vietnam. His paddle sponsor kind of came out of nowhere. Not something that many players had. I don't know of any other player, right? And that was a Vietnamese brand. I forget their name. He went over there and did the tournament or whatever it was. Got rid of Selkirk, yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, I don't. Like you say, he has a contract, so I don't blame the UPA. But that's a big loss. He's young. He's a very good player. He's interesting. He plays with a certain style that I think other players like to emulate, younger players.
Well, I think the other thing that came out that at first I thought, well, he could still play PPA.
Yeah.
He just had to play the qualifiers and qualify. But that's not the case, because when PPA has done all this thing, they also have a rule now that if you're ranked in the top 50 players, that you cannot play qualifiers.
Can't play qualifier, yeah.
So if you're in the top 50, in order to play PPA, you have to have a PPA contract. So that was their way of keeping the top players.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. So, I wonder, do you think he won't forfeit his points then, just because they terminate contract?
Well, that's another interesting twist on it, because if you go on the PPA website for the points now, his name is no longer listed in the points. So, I mean, I'm wondering if some intern at the PPA sort of took him off there, not thinking through that could he now make the case, well, hey, I'm not in the top 50 anymore, so now I should be allowed to play the qualifiers. Should be able to play,
yeah.
Sounds messy. I mean,
it's definitely messy.
Yeah. But I think he's a young kid. I mean, maybe he just likes the culture better there or whatever, likes living in Vietnam better. Who knows? I mean, he's probably a lot bigger celebrity there than he is in the United States by far. Yeah. So maybe that's just sort of our American view, to think it's some big loss that he's not here playing on what's still a new startup tour. I mean, it's the biggest thing that we have, but it's still no guarantee it's going to be around forever. They're obviously cutting costs and stuff to try to get their players to play.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. His dad's a very outspoken guy too, so I'm sure they had a plan.
Yeah, I think I saw Jared Paul with the Kitchen came out with something that said, I think he said that he thought his dad was the one behind the scenes manipulating and all that. I don't know if that was just Jared trying to get clickbait for his Kitchen, or whether that's if he really knows that.
They do good at it.
I mean, Jared's one guy that I really respect and has done a lot for that, but he's also trying to get viewers to his podcast and on his social media stuff. So I don't know what that if that really means. But
no, I mean, he knows what he's doing for sure. As again, I bet QD and his dad know what they're doing. But we could talk about that forever, right?
Yeah, we have to bring. We need to bring Zach back in. We had Zach last week. I think Zach's our resident pro expert now, so we'll have to bring.
Well, that's a nice way to put it. He's our resident pro gossiper. That's all I like to say.
Yeah.
Either a gossiper.
Pro pickleball or anything else. Zach is the man you can go to find out what to be in the know. So, but we'll have to bring Zach back. I mean, that was fun having him last week, so we need to bring him back. I'd actually like in the future if we, I know he's got a ton of paddle knowledge and everything, but I think where he can really add here is his pro stuff with what all he knows. So maybe he can be our sort of own little pro special guy.
Yeah, give him his own segment, his own pro segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, we love
the main thing we want to talk about is amateur community pickleball, right?
Yeah, that's right. Right. So, on the topic of contracts then, we had an interesting discussion, which was, and it tied into the kind of our amateur state series, but let's say, so for those of you who don't know, I'll give you a quick rundown. We won't go too deep. If you win or medal in our amateur PPA state series that we're partnering with the PPA with, you get either a free entry or discounted entry into Worlds. That's not the important part. This is the important part. If, let's say, for example, Mark, you and I play. We play a PPA amateur state championship. We get gold. Free entry into Worlds. Am I obligated with a verbal contract to play with you in Worlds because we qualified together?
That's a great question, Corin. I mean, that gets iffy there, right? So now we play together. I'm all excited. We just qualified for World, and you're over there thinking, man, that guy's only got a 4.2 DUPR. I don't want to go to Worlds with that guy. Yeah, I think that's something that there needs to be some conversation about for sure.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Did we have that conversation before? If not, is it just implied? I think nothing in this life can be implied, right? I mean, I feel like I'm a nice enough guy that I'd let your 4.2 DUPR come on with me to Worlds, but I could see a situation where you qualify early in the year, and then maybe you and your partner are on two different trajectories, and you're now two different levels, and maybe
So
that
you're just
doesn't
gonna
it
drop
doesn't
them
match
like
up.
a hot potato and drop them and move on.
Hey, they got to drill more.
Well, that's what
you know?
happens on the pro tour all the time, right?
All the time.
You know, they just drop somebody and say, "Hey, sorry, I can't play next week because I got
Yeah.
a better opportunity." I think that's different at the amateur level than the pro level, though. I mean, we're not playing for money and all that stuff. I think it gets interesting is what if you play. You know, one thing about that amateur state championship series is you are allowed to play in multiple states.
Right.
It's not locked into one state, so I could possibly play in multiple state championships and qualify with multiple partners. So I think what we're really talking about, it all comes down to good communication. I mean, like if I was playing with you and you'd already qualified in a previous state and I was wanting to go to World, I would think that I would probably want to know, hey, if we win this thing or medal, are we going to, go to World and play together?
Yeah.
But the opposite side of that is I might be, well, hey, I have somebody else that I want to play with, and I'm just going to use you to get my medal and go. But that could be wrong.
I think it's tough. I think especially with Worlds because you have to qualify, right? It's not like you and I play, and then I can just go pick somebody, Joe Schmo off the street and go play. So you have to find somebody else that also qualified and doesn't have a partner.
Well, this is working out kind of good because we're getting to talk a lot about the amateur state championships as we're doing that. So how that works at the amateur state championships is if you get gold, silver, or bronze at a state championship, you qualify for the champions division at World. So they have special divisions out there that's just the champion division.
Right.
So, you'd only be able to play in that champions division. Now, somebody else can go out there and just play at the Worlds, but they're not going to play in the champions division that will truly crown who is the best player in the nation with people that have medaled at the state championships. But yeah, that's a tough one. I think what I'd encourage players to do is just have that, conversation before you play in those tournaments with what it means. But I mean, I guess it also, we're talking about it for the World Championships, but I would argue that the Southern Pickleball Championships are more prestigious at this point than those. No offense to them.
No, I think so.
I mean, the only division is if you medal. I mean, we had 1,300 players roughly last year in Macon, Georgia, December. And the last weekend, I guess, first weekend in January. Sorry, this year it's December 31st to January 4th. So. And you can qualify at every tournament. So is it implied when you play in a Southern Pickleball tournament that if you medal that you're playing the Southern Championships with that partner? That's tough.
That is tough. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, I think it comes down to communication. I think, one thing I'll say is I do see a lot of the same people playing together all the time. 6 months, every tournament for 6 months. And
well, it seems like you see the same people playing together all the time, or you see the same person not playing with the same person every time, which makes you wonder what that's about too.
Yeah, true. There are some pickleball swingers, if you will. There's just a new partner every weekend.
And there's some that I know, and I can think of one person in particular that I think does it just to grow the game, and he asks like different people to try to get them involved in the tournament team. And then I think there's others that they're just jerks to play with, so they got to find a new person to play with every
all the
time.
Yeah, that's true. It is tough. You ever play with any jerks?
God, have I ever played with any jerks? I like my partners, Corin.
I like that.
I will say that it seems like we're all unique in our different ways of how we, play. So it's just different things. But I don't think my partner influences me a whole lot on there. I will say the biggest thing for me with the partner is I don't really care if they're mad at me or, I mean, even though it is hard to play when you feel like you have to prove, to your partner. I guess that's maybe, I don't want to have to prove to my partner I belong there. I'm already trying to figure out if I belong there. But I also, the other side of that is I don't like having a partner that I really have to bring up all the time. I'm willing to be a cheerleader and encourage and say positive things, but when it's just when they're just super negative about everything, that's not my favorite.
Yeah, that's fair.
Power of positive thinking. I think there's a book about that back in the day.
Yeah, well, that negative energy will bring you down, and it might just bring your DUPR down, which is going to be what we're going to get to here in just a second. Before that, though, we want to get on to our next sponsor highlight. A huge thank you to Diadem Sports, our go-to partner for performance gear and the official ball of Southern Pickleball and of the world. From the first serve to the final point, Diadem balls bring the consistency and durability our tournaments demand. We're proud to work with a brand that supports the game from the grassroots level and helps elevate play for every athlete on the court. Thanks again, Diadem, for being a true partner in growing the game. So, back to that DUPR thing.
Man, we just can't just read the cut diadem thing and just move on for that. Diadem's awesome.
I do, yeah.
I was actually talking with somebody today. I mean, Diadem has done so much to support Southern Pickleball, and not just us, all our affiliates around and stuff. And their ball's been awesome. Somebody's asking me about the ball, and I mean, everybody loves playing with that ball. Now I'm going out and seeing local places where the Diadem is the ball.
Yeah,
everywhere that they're playing with. So, I mean, Diadem's just been phenomenal. They're great.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, luckily, being a part of the tournament staff, I get a lot of the used Diadem balls, and even sometimes I get a couple new ones to bring home. But they seem to work their way into all my kind of groups, and every time we play, I'm always the one providing the balls now, and then now everyone has Diadem balls because I have a lot less than I used to.
So if Diadem had a DUPR, they would be a 5.0 plus, but
probably a 6.0 plus.
That's true. Yeah. Top of the pro.
They'd be
level.
Up there,
Yeah.
Top 10 pro.
So that's not what my DUPR is after this weekend. I want a silver on. I want a silver Saturday, and my DUPR went down under this new algorithm. Tell me about this new algorithm.
So I'm going to read this straight off of DUPR's website, and this is how DUPR's algorithm works. And this is the update. It says performance versus expectation. Each match has an expected score based on player ratings. Score more than expected equals your rating will move up. Score less than expected equals your rating will move down. Type of match. A club or tournament match influences your rating more than a self-posted one. Match recency. Newer matches have a bigger impact on your rating than older ones, which I think that's really good. And then match volume. Each match refines your rating. More match history leads to more accurate and stable rating. So a couple of those things I think were already kind of part of it, right? As the match volume, the more you play, the higher your reliability rating is. But the big one is the performance versus expectation. And this has been a big talking point for a lot of people. And I have mixed feelings on it, but I want to hear how you feel about it because you were affected directly this weekend.
Well, I've been a big proponent for that. It shouldn't be if you win. That's the only way you can go up. Because I've always used the argument if you and I are playing Ben Johns and ever who his new partner is now that he dropped his brother, so ever who he's choosing to play with this
Whoever
week.
It may be.
So I mean, the guy that's just the example that we all want to follow as our top pickleball person. If you and I played Ben and ever who his partner is, and we lost 11-8, 11-8. I don't think our DUPR should go down.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Just played,
feels like a win to me.
Yeah. So, and I don't know what his should do, but so I don't think we should go down in that scenario. But the flip side of that is what I realized this weekend, and maybe this is just my shortcomings as a player, but if I get up big in a game, sometimes I don't focus the way I should, So if I'm up 12-4, and rather than closing it out 15-4, it ends up being 15-8. Now, the computer says I was supposed to win 15-6. And I think the other thing is hard is like, well, can you tell me beforehand what you need me to do?
Also,
That would be great if I had some transparency, on what I need to do. But that was tough. I mean, we only in the men's, and now I'll tell you, because I'm sure, it's Mark Spackman, Spackman. Everybody can go out there and check my DUPR, now, because I know the thousands of people that are watching this are now on the DUPR app, fighting through those commercials because they don't have DUPR Plus yet, trying to see. But, for $3.99 a month, you can get rid of those commercials, or $35 a year, or whatever it is. You can get rid of those commercials. So, but on Sunday, I deserved a drop, and I felt bad on Sunday because my partner, Laura's, her DUPR dropped too, and it really wasn't her fault. So that's another thing. She was nice enough to play with me, and then her DUPR's dropping. She's a 4.0 women's player. Well, she's a 3.8 now or something because she chose to play with me on Sunday, so it deserved. But on Saturday, we played a round robin. We played 5 matches. We lost to one team. Then we played a semifinals and a final. We won the semifinals, and then we lost in the finals. So the only team we lost to was one team. We were 5-1, basically, looking at teams. Yeah. And we dropped. So, and the team that we lost to, their DUPRs were almost a point higher than me and my partners combined. So I'm just trying, I guess you never care till it impacts you, right? So.
Right, yeah. I think it's tough. I think,
Where's some ideas you have? I mean, can you fix it?
I don't know if I can fix it. I don't think there's a world where you can win a game and be penalized for that. I think that's pretty insane, and maybe because you win, you don't necessarily go up. Maybe it's a 0, right? If it's you and me and we're playing some beginners, I don't know how this would ever happen, but and for some, somehow we were playing a couple of 3-0s, 3-0 DUPRs, and we win that game. We're expected to win that game. I don't think the score should matter. I think we won. So maybe it doesn't go up. Maybe it stays at 0, right? Maybe it's plus 0.000. No change. But I don't think we should be penalized if they score 3 points and it was expected to be 11-1. I mean, so much can happen in a pickleball game.
I like that in theory. I was just trying to think how that works. So let's say you're a 5-0 player and you just now forever want to play 4-0 players that you're going to beat. No matter how close it gets, I don't guess there's not a problem with that. As long as you don't lose, right? As long as you don't lose. So it would just be a 0. But if you don't play somebody that's worthy, because that's the other thing. I mean, I just don't like, let's say there's 2 5-0s and you play 2 4.6s. Should you really go up by beating us?
Yeah, I think so. Or I think there's probably a limit. I mean, I think if you're within that half point, so 5-0 to 4-5, right? And I don't know how exactly the
I thought algorithm, at one time they had something like if it was more than a point difference,
nothing changed.
Yeah,
it could be.
I think you're selling me on your point.
I hope so.
It'd be. I would go with that. So if you win. But I guess the real reason mine went down was not because of I guess what it was saying was my wins weren't that significant. So yeah. I still may have went down. I would have had a lot of 0s because we were maybe beating people with close or the same rating, and then we lost the big one. And the other thing, I conveniently left out, of mine is that, when we lost, we got beat 15-0.
Oh. So you
need to do your research if you want to give me a hard time.
The one loss, the one loss though then was a big drop.
Yeah. But they were significantly higher than this. In fact, we lost 15-0. The one team we lost to 15-0 the first go around, and then 11-0 the first game. And then Dole and I, we just had enough. We said nobody's going to win 27 straight points on us. And so then it was 11-9 in the third game. But what was interesting is even though we played them a lot closer in that third game, it didn't pull us up any. We still went down and took another drop.
Well, I guess the way, because it probably read it as like 22-9.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard. I also think it's hard. I'm sure they have their hands full, but if you win 6 games in a row and you lose 1, there's times where those 6 games equal that 1 loss, right? And you just kind of now I'm speaking from my heart because this seems to be my problem. I mean, I feel like I'm winning so many more games than I'm losing, and which may be wrong. I actually looked at my record. I'm like 153 wins and like 126 losses or something. But
you put a lot of games.
Put a lot of games in, yeah. But I would say, recently it has to be pretty favorable. I would say at least twice the amount of wins as I do losses, and my DUPR hasn't gone anywhere.
Well, I did do a little bit of research, Corin.
Oh, no.
So I knew you were going to complain a little bit about your DUPR not going up more. But
it never. I'm 4-4 for life.
So, but you did tell me earlier you beat a couple of 5-0 players, and you didn't really go up much, right?
No, actually, when we beat the 5-0s, it went up. I went up pretty good. But when we lost we lost to a couple of 5-0s, we took a little drop.
So I see here you played a 5-0 that was 5.071, and one was 5.045.
We need to say no more.
And you won against them both, and so you went up
15-8.
Yeah.
Actually, after that game, because I was tracking, but I was a 4-5.
But at the risk of alienating 35% of our audience right now, because it looks like right now we're going about 65% male, 35% females at tournaments. Those were 2 women that you played in that match.
Those were, 2 women.
So were they really? If you put them in with men, were they really 5-0 players with men? Oh,
that's a good question.
Because DUPR is supposed to be genderless, but I don't buy that.
That's a really good question. I think if they play 5-0, do they compete? I have to say yes.
They compete with 5-0 men.
I would have to think.
How many games do they win in that money ball against a whole bunch of y'all that are all rated 4-0?
They went 2-3, but they lost the other two teams. They lost to one of them. So the one team
probably really 5-0, real 5-0.
Well, one team
players.
was definitely one team was a 5-4 and like a 5-0. So I guess they don't compete because actually they got beat pretty bad that game, I think. And then the other team, both guys rated like 4-4, 4-6 or something, but those guys were really good as well. And then they lost to little old 4-4 me. But no, I mean they're good. Maybe they're like 4 or 5 men. Maybe that's a better example. They were really good. I mean,
so since it didn't take in the gender, you got a big boost and got
that's right.
A big boost because it didn't take gender. And the other side of that is what about like age? So the other thing this weekend tournament I played in, there was no age breaks. So I was playing with I was playing with a 50+ partner. We were both over 50. When our DUPR took the hit, we were playing against a 26-year-old and a 30-something-year-old, I think, or something. So should age matter, or is DUPR just age and genderless, and they've got it all figured out?
No, I think there's definitely they got some more stuff to figure out. I think they do okay. I mean, generally speaking, you're not going to get 2 women versus 2 males anyways. Right, there's going to be more. The females are going to play the females, women's doubles, of course, and then mixed doubles, fair game, where it's mixed doubles. So I think that was a unique situation. But the age thing you bring up is very important because a 70-year-old 5-0 is not quite a 24-year-old 5-0. And it's just kind of how it is, right? I mean,
Or is that 70-year-old just really not a 5-0? They're really a 4-8. They want to be a 5-0. They used to be a 5-0, but now they're 70 and they're not a 5-0 anymore.
I like to say age group 5-0, right? I mean, because if that 70-year-old goes to PPA and plays 60+, 70+, 5-0, then they may, they might be
so
one
really
of the better
your
ones.
advice to me would be then is I'm 56 years old, so if I want to keep my DUPR high, is that I should just look for 4-0, 50+ tournaments and build it up. When I get to 4-5, play 4-5, go, and just never play outside my age.
If you care about your DUPR. I mean,
how about a woman? Should they not play mixed then? Should they just play women's?
No, I think they should play mixed. I think mix is fair enough, right? I mean, if it's the case of the women if the woman's feeling outmatched, she has a male as well as the other team. It's even, right? In this situation, like what I played, 2 females versus 2 males, I think they held their own. But again, maybe that's something where they don't take such a hit. They took a chance, played this money ball where they knew they were going to be the only 2 women there, and they were. And kudos to them. They were so good.
Really no chance for their DUPR to go up significantly, though, because most of y'all are rated below them. So they took a chance.
Pretty much all of us, yeah.
So, and then one of them had a PPA rating, right?
I think they both have a PPA rating. They played So
now by trying to get $700 extra, or was it $1,000? How much could you win this weekend?
Oh, $1,100.
So now their DUPR went down a little bit this weekend.
Yeah, DUPR went down because
they played against guys, and they were right there and getting close to Jeannie Bouchard's DUPR if they just would have.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned Jeannie Bouchard because they were both the girls were recording. So and I hit a really cool shot, like a really cool shot. I don't care if it was against girls or guys or whoever. It was a really good shot.
Yeah.
So I went on YouTube just to see if they had a page, and they didn't. But when I typed in their name, the first thing that came up was actually those 2 versus Jeannie Bouchard and Ava Ignatowicz, and it was a close match.
Oh, okay.
It was a very close match. So maybe DUPR is pretty good.
So that's making you feel like that you're right where you could probably play on the Women's Pro Tour now?
I think, yeah. I think I'd play on. I think I'd be. No,
so
I think I could play a Women's Pro Qualifier.
So you as a now. Well, after that match, you went up to 4.514. I guess you lost after that, and you went back down.
Yeah, I lost my next 2.
So as a 4.4, you think a 4.4 male can play on the Women's Pro Tour?
I think that could play in the Pro Qualifier. I obviously not the like top end of it because I think they lost to Jeannie Bouchard, and Jeannie Bouchard, And just so if you're watching Jeannie, this is not a "we hate you" show. We just think you need to drill more. But so Jean Bouchard is not really a top woman.
Well, we
so.
definitely don't hate Jean, because earlier when we were talking about the QD contract and everything, we didn't even bring up the fact that her and Jack Sock supposedly were playing a tennis tournament with an investor or something, and they weren't at the MLP either, but they didn't get their contract terminated.
There, huh?
Yeah. So
another story for another day, huh?
Yeah, but well, interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk about DUPR every week. It's going to look like, since we have these DUPR cups in front of us and all that, it's going to look like we're doing some sort of advertising for DUPR or whatever. We're not connected in DUPR, other than the fact that I do think it's the best rating system out there available, and so for Southern Pickleball, we use that as our rating system. But
easily integrated. It's good.
But I personally, on a serious note, I mean, it was kind of a bummer for me to see how it went. But I think it's the best thing we have out there.
Yeah.
I think even Tito, the CEO of DUPR, had made a comment in his press release that he was just proud of his team for daring to do something different.
Oh, yeah.
And try to mess with the algorithm to see if they could get something more accurate. And I think I'd have to sort of second that I think at least they're trying. And I think they're hearing what everybody's saying, that, hey, if I play close to somebody, I think they probably need to listen to you, Corin. And I like that idea that if if you win against somebody that you should have beat, that you just stay the same, that you don't go down if you win.
Yeah. So I mean, just real quick, the Moneyball, the team that won, actually, they won, and their rating went down. So they won $1,100 as a team, and their DUPR went down, all from the same match. I mean, it's a little. Granted, I'd rather have the $1,100 and my DUPR go down just a little bit, but it feels so crazy to me that you can win and lose at the same time when it comes to DUPR.
Mean, and we can go into it a little bit more. I mean, what I think you got to be careful too is that, I mean, they can't control who they play, right?
Right.
So they just signed up for the tournament.
Right.
So also it's like, and everyone, we still get this mixed at the amateur level of, even though it's tournaments, it's still recreational pickleball. We're not. I mean, y'all were playing for $1,000 in that Moneyball bracket, but for the most time, we're playing for a medal, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from these medals. I mean, do we have them out there? Or do they
it's right here.
I mean, that's one of the state championship medals, and they're good-looking medals. I mean, they're heavyweight. I mean, different than what you get. But do you want, I guess my argument would be is that even if I did know that algorithm, so I'm beating somebody 14-1, and the algorithm says I need to win, 15-3 or better, but do I have to have that killer instinct and just make them feel like that they wasted a Saturday or whatever, or can I just take it easy for a few points and then close out in the match? I know there's people that are going to say, oh, it's a tournament, it's cutthroat or whatever, but at the end of the day, I think for a lot of us at this point, we've already had that, whether it's in our work or previous competitive sports or whatever, we've already had that, and that's not what we're really playing pickleball or even pickleball tournaments for. We're playing for the community and the camaraderie.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, we all pay to be there, but at the end of the day, we're also, we're there to have fun, right? I mean, that's always going to be my take on anything, is I'm here to play pickleball to have fun. So, I think that's all great points. Just to kind of round it out here, we do have the Virginia State Championships coming up. So, do you expect players to adjust their strategies for that tournament? Because it's going to be, kind of one of the first ones since the DUPR update. So do you think you're going to see a lot more 15-0s, 15-2s, 15-1s perhaps? Like some bigger score gaps than what you usually have? Or do you think it's just going to be the same? And
I don't know. I was thinking about that. That's a good question. I think people are definitely going to be aware of it, and there's going to be conversation about it. I don't know how much at the amateur level we can really control all that or whatever. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, we talk about, I just say like that killer instinct to put them away or whatever. I don't know if that's something at that level we can always turn on or turn off or whatever. So, or even, I was wondering, especially on Sunday mixed, I was almost wondering when I was thinking about the fact that I needed to do more, if that made it worse, because I wasn't as relaxed. It's like when I started putting the pressure on myself, it's like, oh, I know I need to beat this team. There was one team that we lost to that our DUPR took a significant hit on Sunday, and I was like, no offense to them, I think we probably win this match, 9 out of 10 times. But when we got down, I was like, last week when I wasn't thinking about the DUPR. This might be an easy comeback. This week that I'm thinking about what it's going to do to my DUPR rating is so, I think my first thing personally is I just got to quit identifying my self-worth with my DUPR rating. So,
Fair.
And I think I just want to get back to where I'm just like, I'm going to play tournaments at the level they want me to play based on my rating. I'm going to play with who I like to play with.
Yeah.
To your point earlier, who I enjoy playing with. I'm not really worrying about the rating. I know who I can play with or who I can't play with, So
Fair. I'm on the opposite end. Give me everybody. Give me Ben Johns. I'll make it work. And by make it work, I mean I'll get beat 11-0, 11-0.
Okay, well, I think to your point, there's going to be a lot of things, but Virginia State Championships up at Performance Pickleball.
Yep.
I guess it's too late to register now. If you missed out on that,
It's
too late. Registration is open for the others. We have, the one I would encourage people, if you haven't been up to Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming up in early September. That whole town is just amazing, the little downtown area with all the restaurants and stuff. We're going to be playing at Memorial Park, which is outdoors. But when they designed that court, space and room in between all the courts. People that are thinking about how to design an outdoor facility really should stop by there because the lady that designed that just did a phenomenal job in laying out the court. But Johnson City, then we'll also be over at Pawleys Island later at Litchfield Pickleball Center. That's going to be a cool place. And then next week on the pod, we're going to have Chase Mason that's coming to join us. He is the general manager at Let's Go Pickleball down in Noonan. And that's going to be the second weekend in October. We're going to have the Georgia State Championships there. I think we'll have over 500 players. Registration is already open. Go sign up now before your DUPR gets inflated. That's not true. We move them around.
We move them around, yeah.
Yeah, we'll move.
Yep. But the Georgia State Championships already over 150 people signed up. So
is there really 150 already?
Spots are going quick.
So we're going to end up closing that one early. So you probably need to do that. But it's going to be cool. Chase is a great story. I think if you tune back, Chase has played pro qualifiers.
Yep.
He was actually. We'll talk about mine and Chase's history, next week. But it goes back. This was really cool watching him develop into the role he has now in pickleball.
Yeah, we love Chase. All our Georgia viewers, I'm sure most of you have heard of Chase. He's one of the OGs.
Yeah, of Georgia pickleball.
Of Georgia pickleball. Yeah, he's around. So we're excited about that next week. Excited to see how these DUPRs are affected in Virginia. See if we get some 15-0s. And for our Virginia watchers, if you see Mark at the Virginia State Championships, let him know. Were you nervous? Did you play harder? Did you pickle that team because you had to now? And did you feel bad for doing it after you did it? Let them know.
But more importantly, we know that you followed this during podcast. We need to get some followers.
True that. Speaking of that, all our watchers now, please don't forget to like, subscribe. And while you're at it, go ahead and comment. Are you going to start beating people 15-0? And are you going to feel bad about it? I think I know a lot of people's answers, but I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Guess we'll see. All right, so that is going to lead us into Head Pickleball. Head support helps us bring high-quality tournaments to life, from brackets to paddles and everywhere in between. Their innovation and commitment to the sport make them the driving force in the pickleball world, and we're lucky to have them on tour with us. Big thanks to Head Pickleball for making each event bigger, better, and more competitive. Do love me some Head Pickleball.
Yeah, you're getting better and better at reading those things.
I do my best. Sometimes I have a lisp. All right, so to round this out, we're going to do our favorite segment, which is On Top of the Podium. And this week, we actually all were in Opelika, Alabama, and of course, we all kind of drove around together, and it was hot outside. And so we had some interesting conversations, and I think one that a lot of people are going to either scoff at or have a very big opinion of are hydration, really just water brands, right? So I want to know, Mark, what is your On Top of the Podium for water brands, bronze, silver, and gold?
Well, in full disclosure, I don't know that I should be the one talking about the best hydration or whatever, because we were in Opelika, because we forgot to mention that one. We're going to at Opelika with 24 covered courts where we're going to run in the Alabama State Championship down there last weekend in October. But we were down there with our Southern Pickleball team for some strategy and planning, and I had to leave a day early for kidney stones.
Yes.
But then as I was thinking back at it, I was talking with John Laser up at Performance Pickleball. I was getting ready to go to Virginia, and I was telling him about that, and he was like, well, man, he goes, I remember when you were up here at Virginia last year, you were dealing with a kidney stone and you were in pain. I was like, yeah, I always forgot about that. I was. And then I got to thinking about, well, last year when we did the Kitchen Open, I had a kidney stone then. And so I have the type kidney stones that are caused by dehydration. Because I just don't. So, we've seems like my health and health issues is a normal podcast topic for us. So I just can't drink a lot after having gastric bypass surgery. I can't drink a lot, so I don't get enough water. So I had those. So that was how it's coming back, and I think we said something about like smart water or whatever. And I shared with y'all, I was like, I just heard somebody say, if you're drinking smart water, that just shows me you're not very smart. You're paying for. But so I don't know how. I mean, I guess I just think we need to get some different creative with this. If this is what we've really come down, that we're wrapping up our show with our top 3 water picks. That's about as boring as it gets.
I tell you what, it's going to be more controversial than you think.
You must have something hidden then that I just not thinking. But so I guess I go first, then I'll just so we can get on with it. Bronze tap water. I don't know. Just just take it all. I mean, just
the fact that tap water made the list at all is an issue.
I don't know. Silver, any bottled water in there, and then my favorite was Dasani. But since they've switched from the dark blue wrappers to the light blue, I don't really drink it as much anymore. Something about the dark blue made it
more hydrating.
It made it just look.
I tell you what,
but I just can't believe we've went down to where we're picking waters. What's yours?
You're one of those people that scoff. You don't even know the different tastes in waters, do you? I could give you any water and you'd say that's water.
Yeah, I think you're going to start telling me about how it's pH balanced or something and gets the same pH.
Well,
and I think that's all just BS to get you to pay $4 for a bottle of water. But tell me which ones you like.
It might be, but my number one, the one I drink the most, and it's just the cheapest, is this Costco purified bottled waters.
Kirkland brand.
I love it. Can't beat it. Tastes great.
48 of them for $3.99 probably or something.
That's right. Now, my silver, I must be a dumb man because it is smart water, pH balanced, 9.5 alkaline water. The black bottle, for those of you that don't know. Smart water, alkaline.
Oh, so I think I've just seen the blue. So there's a black bottle?
There's a black bottle, yeah.
So they charge you more for the black bottle than the blue bottle?
Same price, actually. Same price.
So it's just whether you want the balanced one or the non-balanced?
Yep.
Well, who buys the non-balanced in that thing?
That's a good question.
Okay.
The dumb people. I guess we're all dumb if we're buying smart water. My number one is Essentia, which I think also is pH balanced, but I just like the bottle. It's a good bottle.
What's the name of it?
Essentia.
Oh, I'm not even familiar with that. I've never even heard of it.
Oh, man, you're not a water guy, I can tell.
Yeah.
You're not a water guy. I hope our viewers are water people, and you're not like Mark. Don't be like Mark. Dehydrated, no taste in water. Don't even drink water.
With kidney stones.
Don't do that. But that is going to wrap it up for this episode of the Southern Pickleball Podcast. We just want to thank you guys for hanging out with us as always, and we'll be back next week with more updates, tournament chatter, and I'm sure some DUPR drama. We have some tournaments coming up this weekend, so I'm sure we'll hear some stories.
Chase Mason and a more exciting on top of the podium all next week.
Yeah. So until then, stay hydrated, unlike Mark. Stay competitive, and we'll see you on the courts.